From PlebLab in Austin, Texas, this is Stacker News Live!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker News Live. Woo, doggy, it's a Friday, Keyan.
Wow, jeez. What happened?
It's bottled up.
You were like normal car just a second ago.
No, I wasn't. I've been like this all day.
Oh.
Stackers love it.
I mean,
you see what they put in the comments? They're like, I love when he starts off super hyped. Then you lower.
I don't believe that.
Then you lower your voice and you're just like, yeah, how's it going?
I don't believe it. Yeah, I'm just a normal person. People don't like normal people.
I think so. Busy week on Stacker News.
Well, yeah.
What's going on?
What's going on with, I guess, Reddit or something? They're like doing API stuff that people don't like, which is maybe causing people to come to Stacker News. It probably makes sense to me, but I don't really know. Yeah, we've had like a little bit of an influx of new users. Nothing crazy, but like a little bit more activity than otherwise would be.
I did call it last week.
Yeah, you said that there's going to be a J curve.
So there's going to be a J curve. I said, I told all the stackers.
What letter would that be?
I told all the stackers. I was like, hey, go make 5 Stacker News accounts.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all their accounts they made.
Maybe all the stackers were listening. They're like, you know what? Car's right. Let me go make 5 Stacker News accounts. Keyan's going to close the gates.
Jeez. Who would have thought people would listen to you, though?
This is the influence SNL has.
I guess so. It's very powerful. I think we have like 10 viewers now.
I'm totally kidding. No, I think just my sister watches. I think your wife watches, and that's it.
Do you have a sister who watches the show?
Oh
my God, that's embarrassing.
Hey, Katie. There you go.
You have a sister named Katie? That's also surprising.
I've told you this before.
Because you don't have like a white name like that.
I don't really talk. Well, it's Catarina, you know. It's like,
oh, I see. I see.
So
you call her Katie.
For sure.
Yeah. I see. Catarina.
There you go. It's your Spanish for this week, Stackers.
It's like that's a place that serves like really good tacos. Catalinas. Yeah.
Hey, there's probably those in South Texas, I'm sure. With that, we're going to get into the top 5 stories of the week on Stacker News Live.
Cool.
Hang on, where is this? Oh, there it goes. The first top story is ARC AMA. This had 29,600 sats, 108 comments from Barack. This was an AMA for Barack. Dude, is this the most comments we've ever had at an AMA?
Nope.
No,
we've had more. Maybe we could look at it, but let's Google. Google on Stacker News because
I feel like 108. Well, anyway, this was an AMA post from Barack talking about his ARC.
Lynn Alden had the most, 133, followed by Peter Todd. We had actually several that were higher.
Wow. So Lynn Alden holds.
Yeah, he's like maybe in the 7th spot. Yeah, pretty good.
How did the AMA go?
I think it went really good. There's lots of like really deep questions that were asked. If anyone wants to do a deep dive on ARC and all the various corner cases in here from the creator of ARC himself, Barack, I'd go and read the thread. I mean, some of the questions that were asked last night got brought up at BitDevs. For instance, Tony in here asked about something. What did he ask about? I'm trying to find it. But he asked about, I think, cases where there's serious. Oh no, everyone exits the ARC service provider at the same time, and what happens in that case. And Barack's response was honest, but it's not very great. It's basically like, well, you could have your funds locked up for years. Potentially, you don't get your funds back for years. But this is a problem on all layer 2s. Like if you have a max exodus from Lightning, I don't know if Lightning is big enough right now, but if you have a max exodus from Lightning, that would also be a problem. But lots of really cool questions like that in here for people that are into them. It confirmed that it is ARC is named after Noah's Ark. So
you love to see it.
Yeah.
ARC Lightning. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Or Lightning Arc, however you want to call it.
Lightning Arc. Yeah. You can imagine like Zeus on Noah's Ark, you know?
Should be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here for it, man. If you go to arcpill.me, Stackers, there's a full write-up there. He's already done podcasts like on Bitcoin Takeover and like Stephen Livera, I think. So
Yeah.
And I think he said there, did you scroll up by the part where he's actually building it as we speak? So he says it somewhere in there. Yeah, he says, I'm currently assembling a team of Bitcoin devs and wizards with the goal of building a prototype. We aim for a rollout later this year on Inquisition, Signet, or Liquid. So you heard it here first. That's pretty cool.
Bro, it's coming. Noah's coming. He's going to save us all.
We know of one person.
Yeah. Who's your double? Who's like your, you're a camel and someone else is a camel. So you got to choose. Noah chooses 2 camels. Who's
who you
bring to the ark with you?
I don't know. That's a good question. Can I bring a group or no?
No, you got to bring one person. That's the upside of this question. Otherwise, it's like otherwise I'm going to bring all the Bitcoiners with me. You have to answer the tough version of the question, Car.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'd probably bring Darth Coin if he wanted to come.
Wow.
There you go.
Dude. I didn't realize that's a deep
provocative
relationship.
It'll keep us honest.
Yeah, it's a good choice and a tough choice. I respect it.
Yeah, that's it for the first top story. The second top story is Damus may be pulled from Apple's App Store. Can you believe this?
I didn't hear about this all week. No one tweeted about it.
No one was talking about it.
Yeah.
It was June 13th. It's a Nostr post from original size, 62 comments, 8,455 sats. Man, that's a lot of zaps.
It is a lot of zaps, but I don't know if you know this, but Nostr recently crossed 1 million zaps on it. So it's maybe not as many zaps as Nostr, but so Apple does not like zaps. That's what happened apparently. And even after Jack Dorsey, world's most punk billionaire, he tweeted about it, and then William gets a meeting with Apple. They still. Oh,
really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I was like following a little bit of this. Apple still did not isn't going to let zaps in. They claim he's allowing people to pay for digital content, and I was having trouble loading stuff on Nostr, but apparently what William's going to do is he's going to remove zaps in 14 days.
Gosh,
from Damus.
Because Damus still has zaps right now, right? Like as long as you don't update, basically.
Yeah, maybe you want to turn off like force updates. I think they're also going to boot it.
They're going to boot it?
They're also going to take it out of test flight. So even if you're in the test flight, I think you're not going to be able to keep it. I don't really know exactly all the details of it. But anyway, this is bad. It's pretty bad. William is apparently going to go back to another project he was working on. I think that was intended to be cross-platform. That will allow him to target nearly everything using a Rust core, apparently, which will be cool. I think that would be awesome to see. But he's bummed.
Yeah, it looks like William on Damus, he said, or on Nostr, he said, I will continue to support Damus iOS for the foreseeable future, but to do things such as Zap raises and Zaps unlock, I would need a different platform to build on. This is why I started an alternative. That's what you were just saying.
Yeah.
So he says here at the end, though, if we're going to build a new circular economy for Bitcoin in cyberspace, the Apple App Store isn't the place for this. So yeah, I'm like, it's still on the App Store. The cool thing, this is one thing where I saw this kind of take from here, and so this just give the stackers an alternative, kind of viewpoint on it. Adam Curry chimed in and he said, Damus tripped the wire when adding only zaps to posts. Guideline for optional tipping and donations was broken. Remember, this is him quoting this, Apple is a law firm that also makes hardware and software. They can't give an edge case the benefit of the doubt when they have literally gone to court over in-app currencies. Also remember that relying on a single app store, Damus is the antithesis of decentralized. And then he starts talking about Graphene OS. What do you think about that? Did you see what his comments were about that? Like,
I never saw that. I actually, for some reason, I never see anything from Adam Curry. I don't know why.
Well, he posted this on Nostr.
It's like a different part of the internet.
I hadn't thought about that before, but maybe they're already gone through the ringer. And maybe that's why they're just kind of protecting their own, obviously, or maybe it's
Protecting their own. Who's their own?
It seems like right here from what he's saying, they can't give an edge case the benefit of the doubt when they have literally gone to court over in-app currencies already.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Yeah, maybe they have to, if they show Damas some grace here, then it's like they've changed their minds, they're inconsistent, and maybe they can get like an appeal from some prior case or something. But it's a huge bummer because it's the client I use most on my phone.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, and it's good. He's done a really good job.
Damas
with it.
is amazing on iOS. Gosh, I don't know if I'm there yet to switch over to Android and do the whole graphic thing there. What about you?
I was on Android for a few years in there after having been on iPhone for a long time. I didn't mind it. It was okay. But I do feel like Google's phones I feel like they know too much about me. Like the services are so good on their phones. It's like, hey, you should go you should make sure to turn on your water heater for your coffee because we know you make like it's not. They don't actually do stuff like that, but it's like verges on creepiness like that, where it's like, how do you know that about me? How did you know I wanted that done? It's like too smart. It's like pre all this chat GBT stuff too. So it just feels like they just had so much data and knew so much about me.
We have Siggy in the comments. He said, I'm selfishly hoping this de-apples Damas. I'm jealous, but I can't bring myself to use an Apple product.
Yeah. So that's a principled man. I like Apple products too much. Yeah, I have a hard time like not using them. Like I like all of the polish and all of the
we're spoiled.
Yeah, all of the like vertical integration with the phone and the computer and everything is together. There's something so nice about that.
I think there's this thing called, have you heard about this called Wise Phone? Have you heard of it? Yeah, it's called Wise Phone. They're releasing the part 2 later this year, but it's basically just look how that looks. It's just like very simple UI.
It has like nothing.
It has nothing in it. It's
you can
just
make
like
calls.
It's like a digital minimalist. It's kind of cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like $3.99. But this would be cool if like somebody made this for like Bitcoiners, where it's just like really simple. I think somebody's going to come up with something for a Bitcoin OS, I'm sure, on a phone, and it should just be this simple, like Wise Phone, where it's just like Nostr, podcasting, stuff like that.
I'm surprised that wasn't your top post. There was someone who asked about Bitcoin hardware this week on Stacker. And there was a big old thread about it. What was it?
I'll share this inside the.
Here it is.
Inside the.
We'll discuss this maybe at the end.
Yeah, let's talk about it at the end. But anyways, good on William for making a decision.
Yeah, he's moving on. He's a builder and a champion and a steward of the decentralized future of the internet.
Yeah.
The author of the Zap protocol, a traveler and a humanitarian and pioneer.
With that, you would think, okay, cool. Apple, has, done whatever. Well, nope. The next day, Zeus version 7,
all the same
0.7.6 has been rejected by Apple. This is another Bitcoin post, June 14th. This is from Running Bitcoin, 26 comments, 6,254 sats. What the heck happened again? This is 2 days in a row, Keyan.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what happened to Tim Cook. He might be drunk back there. Imagine Tim Cook drunk. I bet he's a silly drunk guy.
He's a silly goose, I'm sure.
He's like an uncle who's like, kind of like very successful and kind of quiet, but just real fucking silly. And he'll just like say he'll say some weird shit too. But apparently they got back in like a day later. I think they just had to like clarify something to the App Store people. But a lot of us were speculating that what happened was there was like an internal memo, because when you're like at a large company like this, it's how information disseminates. And there was probably some internal memo. It's like the SEC is doing these things, pay a lot of attention to cryptocurrency stuff.
You think?
And then they
wait, do you know this inside source? Is that what you're saying?
Nope. No inside source. Just I imagine that's how it happens. And they're like, pay more attention to cryptocurrency. they probably have some big binder, 3-ring binder that they open, and when they're reviewing apps, and they're like, oh, this thing has this wording in it and it doesn't correspond to my binder. We're supposed to reject it. That's what I imagine happened. But anyways, they got back in. So
yeah, in the denial letter, or in the app review denial letter, he shared it. Evan shared it on social media. He says, hello, we are writing to notify you that your app will be removed from the China App Store because it includes content that is illegal in China, which is not compliance with the App Store review guidelines. Then they start referencing the legality and under the subsection 5. And it just gets really complicated from there. But yeah, this looks official, dude. Would you get scared if you don't have a Stacker News app, but let's say you did, hypothetically, you saw this, would you be like, damn, China's on my back, Apple's on my back? What would be your reaction? I would be pretty
upset about it. I think that's the right, you're just writing software, and people want to run it on certain devices. And a lot of us expect the same conveniences that we have on our own computers, which is we can run whatever software we want. But so I'd be plenty pissed off. And especially, if you're the kind of person who doesn't like web browsers and all their limitations and dealing with that, which I know am I echoing?
Sorry?
I was echoing a little bit. If you don't like that kind of stuff, then you have to build native. And now you can't serve, what is it? Probably iPhones are like the top 20% of all income earners in the United States. Those are your bread and butter potentially. Yeah.
Well, you have the Zeus. They mentioned on Nostr, if you don't support sideloading of apps, you're simply pro-authoritarian. And then they released like you said, they got back on. And they released all the stuff. It's weird, dude. It's weird to see like Apple just attack Bitcoin apps this week. Or maybe somebody was on vacation and they were coming back at the same time. Maybe that's how they do it. Who knows?
Yeah, they went to like Epstein's new island and had a meeting with Gary Gensler, Tim Cook.
Jeez,
I don't know, but
so dark.
We got banned from Twitter's API around the same time. And so I was like, what is going on? I'm like, I was like, oh my God, maybe this is coordinated. Maybe this is choke point 5.0.
Do you think there's no way they have like a list of Bitcoin companies that they're following, right? You think? Like Apple, Google App Store.
They don't care that much.
Care.
Yeah. All of this stuff, like any of like when people come on Stacker News and they ask, well, what if they're doing this because they want to take Bitcoin down this way? It's like that we don't matter that much yet. Like none of us matter that much. Bitcoin doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
Not yet.
We're just a sideshow for the I don't know, for somebody.
For someone.
You got Darth Coin. He said, I just tested it and it works. He had a Nokia.
He doesn't have a Nokia phone.
Yeah, you see, he's running Zeus on his Nokia.
Oh, it's a
3650 or whatever it's called.
It's a funny meme that
Can you make it bigger?
True.
Can you make it bigger?
Yeah. There we go.
That would be cool. Imagine that. Zeus running on a Nokia.
Yeah, then I'd be able to get one of those Wise phones you were talking about earlier.
Oh man, that would be sweet. All right. Well, that's it for that top story. Right. The next top story was Nick Carter's tantrum. This is from Siggy47. Bitcoin post June 12th, 38 comments, 14,000 sats. Is that Nick Carter as a kid?
Doesn't
really look like him.
You can see the mustache, can't you?
Oh yeah, barely.
Yeah. Just a little faint outline.
Doxed. What was this? Is this the same? We were talking about this last week, right? So I feel like we covered this.
Yeah, we've covered the initial tweet, but there's some interesting stuff that Siggy does. It does a little bit of investigative reporting on Nick here and a rebuttal. There was one line in here that I really enjoyed that I'm trying to find now.
So last week we left off with, or we talked about Nick's tantrum because it was just super spicy. Now it seems like old news at this point, but maybe there's some new stuff here that he's uncovered.
Anyway, but I think he's mostly rebutting kind of point by point some of the stuff that Nick says, like one of the things specifically is about the parties. And he kind of, well, what about Anita Posh? What about people like Jimmy Song? What about people like Marty Bent and some of these people? Are they really in it for the parties? And probably, not. It seems like they actually think there's something significant here. And, and unfortunately for Nick, he's kind of pointing out that he maybe doesn't care about the more humanitarian side of Bitcoin himself.
Yeah, I think he made that pretty obvious.
Yeah.
like for him, it's not a human movement.
Yeah, it's just
fine.
It's just like I think Siggy in here says it's a tool. Like that's basically the way Nick is viewing it. It's merely a tool. It's merely a money like thing. But I think the thing I was looking for earlier is where he says, I think the reason the Bitcoin community can at times seem like a religion is that Bitcoin causes you to consider things beyond your own material gain. And I think that's really true. I think that's what religion does in a lot of ways for a lot of people. And I think Bitcoin can really do the same. It can really challenge you to think a little beyond yourself. And
yeah, it's like that saying, death or glory. Do you know that saying?
No.
Ever heard of that? Well, it's basically like
sounds like a Red Bull.
No, it's actually pretty profound. You think about like you get death or glory, right? So you can either have glory now and death later, or you can have death now and glory later. And then when people say that, well, why can I have glory now and glory later? It's like, that's just not how life works most of the time, right? Unless you're like extremely lucky. But the whole death then glory aspect means like you accept your death. You accept that the terms of this life that you have. And I think most Bitcoiners probably fall under the death then glory camp, I would say. And some people are like glory then death. I don't know. We'll see.
Interesting. Yeah. The other thing is, I guess Nick is selling rum.
Is he really?
I guess.
Is it good rum?
I have no idea, but I couldn't validate that this is true, but Siggy says that Nick is selling this rum. Maybe he's like tweeted about it, has some association with it.
That looks really good, that kind of rum.
Yeah, I like the bottle. I like the cylindrical bottle. Maybe
Coconut Cartel? Good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I like the Pinterest stuff they got going on here.
Sourced from?
I don't even think that's real dirt.
How do we know Siggy's not Nick Carter?
He could be Nick Carter and is willing to like dismantle himself publicly on Stacker News. It's a good point.
There was a comment from, where was it at? I think I saw, it was a funny one. Yeah, it was Carmen. Carmen goes, he was right. This is the top comment for the post. He goes, he was right and got convinced by scammers that he was wrong. Now he's butthurt and won't admit it. Oof. Right to the jaw.
Fairly. Yeah, that seems to be a good take. And then someone, random Bitcoiner, comes in, and then it's his actual username. I'm not calling him a random Bitcoiner. He comes in and he's like, yeah, that seems to be the correct reading, citing something that
a podcast.
Yeah, a podcast that Nick was on where he basically held the opposite position that he currently holds. So
yeah. Interesting. Hey, we all changes. Yeah. We all change, man. It's okay.
Nick, try harder.
This is the final. Yeah. The final top story of the week was unpopular opinions, a weekend discussion. This is from SN, Stacker News, I guess. 76 comments, a Bitcoin post, June 11th, 4,317 sats. Keyan, what was this?
Yeah. So Kevin posted this weekend. We're doing some of these weekend discussions, trying to get people to, I don't know, to
chime in.
Yeah. Chime in, have it, see what their thoughts are on something that maybe they don't feel like they're able to talk about somewhere else. But in this case, it was, what's your unpopular opinion? I really struggled to come up with one of these, which makes me feel like I'm not challenging myself enough to.
You're unpopular on a lot of
to
things,
be contra, but not. He said like most unpopular.
Oh,
right?
I know your unpopular opinion.
What?
That one time you were saying like, why do we need channels?
Yeah, I don't like channels.
Yeah, that was an unpopular opinion you expressed one time.
Yeah, but it wasn't really so much an opinion. I think most people agree is why I was asking the question. But maybe I have many unpopular opinions and I just have a hard time labeling them as unpopular is maybe the thing.
Yeah. I think most unpopular opinions become popular opinions, quite honestly, especially in Bitcoin. It's so easy to come out with an unpopular opinion and then it just manifests. It's like the easiest thing to do in Bitcoin, I feel.
Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
Well, it's kind of a small community and it's a bit echoey. So kind of makes sense.
Right.
It makes sense.
Look at the whole, the mempool stuff, right? Like, so.
Yeah. Oh, you mean what do you mean the mempool stuff?
Well, I don't want to get, it's too controversial. Did anybody talk about
that? Should have been your opinion. I didn't see you and I were talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough to go into depth, but that's another popular opinion, mempool. People fall on one or two sides. So the top one was this, was a guy who has like kind of a random characters on his username. He said that Bitcoin, Bitcoin is not, salvation. Bitcoin, he tries to, he takes Bitcoin down a peg for people who, or he thinks that people put Bitcoin on a pedestal that doesn't deserve to be on. I think what's interesting is this, he's not saying that Bitcoin isn't, really interesting and valuable to him. He's just like, that's the wrong pedestal. I put it on this other pedestal that I think is more accurately the pedestal it belongs on. And I thought that was, kind of a pretty good opinion. But top comment, earned quite a few sats for it. Another one I really liked was Kevin Rooks. What did he say? Yeah. What did Kevin say?
I'm trying to find it now. Oh, he said the 1 million or the infinity divided by 21 million idea is probably off by an order of magnitude. And I was like, what does he mean by that? I'm like, why is there an extra zero behind 21 here?
Is it a misspelling?
No, it's not. What it is he's like, no, there will be fractional reserves. There will be fractional banking on.
That's actually not too unpopular. I was just talking about that with somebody earlier this morning about that.
Yeah.
Inside the lab. I could totally see where it's,
yeah. I mean,
we just have federations everywhere and it's just like none of it's real Bitcoin.
Well, I don't think that's exactly what he means. I think he means that there will be banks that are going to be wanting to operate on fractional reserves and they'll still do it. And so he thinks that there will be enough credit. Okay. There will be enough credit circulating that the effect on that credit is by multiplying the supply of Bitcoin by 10.
Yeah. So if anything, I think that if by that logic, rug pulls should happen more frequently then in the future.
Well, because that actually isn't, that already is the current level of credit. I think the credit multiple that we have is we have like 10x credit to actual reserves in most banks. Although I think in modern situations, it can be kind of Russian dolled and you can have 10x credit on 10x credit on 10x credit. Because if you like take out a loan and you then put that money in a bank, then that can be fractionally loaned out. So he might be even understating this phenomena should it exist on a Bitcoin standard.
Yeah, it's just like ducks all the way down.
It is. It really is. It's ducks. Is it turtles? I think it's turtles. Turtles. Ducks are the ones that quack and
ducks.
Walk.
Ducks will make it on the ark. Turtles, I don't know.
You don't think turtles have a place on the ark?
Dude, we had a turtle outside.
This is your unpopular opinion. I love turtles. How dare you?
You think turtles will make it? Dude, they're so slow.
They come with like a home. They have like a home. The lion's gonna eat a turtle just body.
Like that. It's just gonna bite the show. I think ducks make it on the ark, bro.
You really are a duck maximalist. You're going to sit on this podcast and tell Katie.
Die on this duck hill.
You're a duck maximalist.
I like ducks. I like turtles too, but I mean.
Not enough to put them on an ark with you. You want to bring Darth Coin, but not a turtle.
Oh man, what a great. So that rounds out the top 5 Stacker News stories of the week. We're going to jump into, I guess, my top story.
Yeah.
This is I do it for the stackers, man. The stackers want the spicy stuff.
Oh yeah, no, they
stackers
do. Stackers
want this stuff. This is not Car just like trying to shill another platform.
Oh yeah,
this is what the stackers want. This is what I get in my my DMs.
You just kidding.
We don't have.
Do you get DMs? I mean, I hardly get DMs.
I logged on to Primal today, like for the first time on my desktop, and it's like all these DMs, like, oh crap.
Yeah, I heard I saw their DM
like,
preview. It's like, wow, it's really good and fast.
Yeah, the notifications work really good. Anyway, my top story of the week is why Reddit currently not turning profit. This was a tech post, June 14th from Mud Blood Von Free. 31 comments, 6,236 cents. He was basically talking about this EFF post and like what went wrong with Reddit. If you click that link, Keyan, but he basically talks about how Reddit has like an admirable record when it comes to defending an open and free internet, but it was not always perfect. He goes into like the content moderation and why it doesn't scale. I feel like this is like a running record inside the lab every single day for the past year and a half that I've known you. So like everything in here, I've heard you say a million times. Like none of it was new for me. But the stackers should definitely check it out. He also talks about chasing profitability and why it's not profitable. As you know, they were like really big on NFTs over there at Reddit. They also had like the Reddit premium subscription. They relied on third parties to do all these clients for them. And then, all the stuff happened this week with the APIs. They got blocked. What's interesting is I did a little digging. It turns out that, one of the biggest reasons they're even kind of looking at this, and maybe the stackers aren't really thinking about this from this angle, but you have the Reddit co-founder, right? His name is Alexis how do you pronounce it? Ohanian?
Alexis Ohanian, the one of the original co-founders.
Yeah, one of the co-founders. There was this Yahoo post that he posted where he's like really big on AI. He thinks it's more efficient. He basically said this. He goes, so many parts of it work, in particular knowledge work in front of or on a computer is going to get so much more efficient. He goes, he talks about how he booked a flight, a travel agent through AI. He goes, and then he also says all the CEOs we're working with, even if they're not in AI companies, it's obvious they're going to have to think through AI strategies, even if it's just to help make writing code more effective. So this guy's like bullish on AI, right? Then you have this Ars Technica post, Keyan, where Reddit's going to start charging for their API, right? And it literally goes back to the AI models and like where they're sourcing their data. So it turns out there's like 18 years of data that's attached to Reddit and that they're not getting paid for. If anything, that's like, I've said this multiple times on the podcast, but like data is the new oil. I mean, there's this Kenway Consulting post that talks about it. It goes, it has to do with the similarities in how two resources become valuable. Just like oil, raw data isn't valuable in and of itself. Rather, the value is created when it is gathered quickly, completely, and accurately and connected to other relevant data. When properly refined, data quickly becomes a decision-making tool, providing insightful information that allows companies to react to market forces proactively or intentionally. With all that being said, Keyan, this is what it's about, man. It's about the AI, man.
I see. What is about the AI?
All the data that's living on Reddit, and this is why they're charging the APIs. Yeah, like it's strictly just a data move.
That's an interesting take.
It's just a data move. It has nothing to do with the like trying to ruin Reddit, but has everything to do with them trying to go public later this year, and then them trying to harvest all the data and not give it away for free. So that's where my mind goes when I started just like digging for 5 minutes. It was like, oh, these all dots connect. I mean, it's clearly obvious. They've already blacked out over 8,000 subreddits. Their big app that they have, I think it's called Apollo, got wiped, and people are looking for a new home. I don't think people realize how much of a turning point this is. Like, there's going to be more of this. I think there are more of these centralized companies that have been around for as long as Reddit are going to start centralizing. They're just going to start collapsing on themselves. You've seen Twitter do it already. Reddit's next. Like, it's happening. At least that's my thoughts on it. But what do you think? Crazy?
I don't know. I think the point about them closing the API to prevent access by AI is interesting. I hadn't thought about it from that angle. I was more so thinking about it from the angle of it's what Twitter did when they, wanted to do that at one point, and I suspect for similar reasons, because it was cutting into their profits. Like they weren't able to serve ads to as many people as they were as they would if they controlled all the clients that were able to use that were serving their users content. And so I suspected that's what it was. It was motivated by that. But I'm not entirely sure technically if AIs won't be able to get access to Reddit's content in the case where there is an API. And so that's the part where
you're saying that the pipe will still be open somewhat, that they can still scrape it. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, they will just scrape it because they don't even need the APIs. If you're an app developer, you kind of need the API because scraping is pretty inefficient. But my understanding with these AI things, they don't care. They will ignore. You can just scrape a whole web page and feed it a whole. It's like a garbage disposal for data.
Interesting.
They will take it and push it out.
So you think do you think it's on Reddit to then go after these companies, these AI companies that are scraping this data? Or you think it's like, how do you think that plays out then? Or you think they're just not going to care about it?
I mean, I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, I know Alexis is, fond of AI, but so is every other Silicon Valley VC right now. It's like it's a thing. They're trying to get in on it. And he tends to blow at the wind based on what I can tell from, at least his public facing life over the last few years, because I've been kind of interested in it. But yeah, I mean, it is, for whatever reason, this is bad. I think closing your API is bad. If you don't have another way to make money other than, choosing the way or forcing your users to consume your content in a certain way, then I think, maybe you should figure that out first. But the initial question was, why isn't Reddit profitable? And I think it's mostly the ad model and just social media in general. It's very, people expect things for free. And we've trained them to expect things for free. Yeah. And it's very hard to untrain that. And yeah.
This is from OX Lamari. He says, my guess is they're part of the debt-fueled pathological system born out of a decade of free money, all growth, no profit, requiring a constant stream of new debt to exist. A recession is the reckoning for companies that overextend in this way. Those that start to reach for actual yield more aggressively in these times reveal their cards this way. Reddit is bleeding potential ad money through third-party apps and clients that needs to plug that hole to survive. I know. We're into a new world.
Yeah, I don't think so. It seems like the same world, just new rulers, maybe.
New rulers or new rules?
New rule. I mean, no, same rules. Like they're all rediscovering the same stuff over again.
They're
so
like,
as we said, Twitter already did this. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna take the.
Wait, has this happened before or no?
It happened with Twitter.
Well, yeah, recently, but has this happened like a decade ago? This happened during.
No, this wasn't recently with Twitter. Recently, this was like 2013.
I guess we saw this the last time was with America Online, right? When they closed all that stuff, like when they all went away and everything went to broadband. Is that the last time we saw all these companies shifting? Time Warner bought AOL, all those things. Is this the last time we did this?
Oh, I don't know. I think you're trying
to connect the dots.
I know your consciousness stream is taking you to the point where you think there's just an Apple, Google, Reddit, Twitter, one company, WeChat.
This is where it's going, man.
It could be. I don't know, but I don't get there.
You have a better future vision. Reddit.
I mean, if they succeed with that name, they deserve to rule the world and give me a social credit score.
They deserve to. So it'd just be like, it'd be a Wise phone with just Twitter.
Whatever your thing is. Yeah.
Reddit.
Oh yeah. It only has
those 4 apps. Dude, imagine that kind of world.
You're not allowed to buy any other phone.
Dang, dude. I could see that. That's some
I can't.
2044 stuff.
I can't. I'm not in that version of the future. I don't exist there. It's like my parents got murdered by a time traveler type of thing.
Well, that's all the top. Do you have a top story this week or no?
Oh, I wanted to cover this a little bit because I know you're really
the Damas thing.
You're pumped on this. No, this was about Bitcoiners building their own phone.
Oh, you want to bring this?
Yeah. I know this is like a thing you like. So
I think I've been so for the stackers at home. You guys heard me talk about this probably episode 1. I forget how
every episode
it's like
for the last year.
So for the past 2 years since I've known Keyan, I've had this idea, like we need to move. We need to get our own phone. Bitcoiners need their own phone. Bitcoiners need to start building their own hardware. I think Coldcard's already doing that. I think they're on a path to do that. I've had conversations with other Bitcoiners. A lot of them say it's not possible. We already have graphene. We already have all this. And then literally this is the same post like got brought up this week. I think it's time, man. I think somebody needs to come out with like a really clean, or a really clean phone, minimal OS, get some kind of store together. I don't know. It doesn't need to be the app store. Maybe it's Umbro. Who knows, man? But they just need to build something that allows Bitcoiners to have our own phones, man. We need our own phones.
It would be cool. I love this idea. I'd buy one. I'd
buy one.
I'd pay a high price point.
I pay $3,500 just as much as the Apple Vision.
Would you play? I was just about to say. I'll pay as much as the Apple Vision. Maybe not 35. I'd pay maybe my price target for the Apple Vision $1,000. When it's $1,000, I might get one. But I think this is good. I think it'll hopefully eventually happen. Especially you and I were both talking about having watched the BlackBerry movie.
Oh, dude, the BlackBerry movie. Stackers, go watch that movie. It's freaking incredible. Keyan, you didn't really like it, but
I thought it was boring, but I liked it.
I liked the build.
Exactly. There was some sauce in there.
So good.
Yeah.
Did you know that was a guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Which
that was
one?
Dennis.
The
CEO,
the bad guy.
The CEO. Yeah.
I didn't know. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, BlackBerry's a really good movie.
It is. It's very good. It has, a hero.
But they talk about the hardware and then spoiler alert. But when the iPhone gets released, they literally just crashes.
I felt bad for the BlackBerry guys because it's a really sad portrayal of BlackBerry in contrast to all the portrayals you see of like Steve Jobs and the story of Apple.
I think it was pretty good. It really shows that guy Mike being really,
you're right,
resilient and brilliant. And
it's a positive portrayal, I think, of that guy, but also it's kind of tragic in the end because Nokia doesn't survive. Anyway, that was good. There was also I watched for some reason when I was on YouTube, I got recommended a Verge documentary on the Palm Pilot. And that was a predecessor to the BlackBerry. And that was also very good. I recommend watching that.
Oh, I need to watch that. But did you see in the movie though, the Palm Pilot guys came over to the BlackBerry guys were like, we're just going to buy you up. It was just such a wow.
Yeah. They tried to do a power move on them.
Yeah,
and
dude.
got slammed.
Gosh. Anyways.
Yeah.
I think Keyan's trying to say is, I think we're at that point where we need to make our own Bitcoin phone. If somebody's doing it out there, so I think.
Where are you? Where are you, man? Who's making that phone?
Whoever's making that Bitcoin phone, you take my money.
Call me.
Take my money. I think there's a lot of people that line up around the block for it.
It doesn't even have to be that good. It just has to be. Yeah. It has to work just kind of as well as like a Bitcoin node.
Really
over
simple.
Tor.
Just the Wise phone. Go look at the Wise phone for inspiration. Just keep it that simple. Doesn't even need to do a lot. Just podcasting, a wallet, and Nostr.
Wait, it needs to have podcasting on it. That's working.
Bitcoiners
now needs like audio processors and stuff.
Start small.
Don't let the podcast.
Well, then start small. Just create a device with a Lightning wallet, Bitcoin wallet built in, and then just has podcasting. Just keep it simple, small.
No podcast.
Small steps.
Bitcoin and Lightning wallet only. That's your MVP.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Whatever.
Maybe an ARC service provider.
Ooh.
Turtles over ducks. Let's go.
There you go. I think that's
okay.
Great post.
That's it for the post. We have super stat segment. So top stacker Shive, Final. Final's like a new stacker. I haven't seen them around very much. Wow. No, it's a new cowboy hat. Barack stacked quite a bit with his AMA. Energy Currency. Top spenders this week. Let's see who we got. Nerd to Ninja.
Oh, what is that?
Way familiar. On top there.
Where have I heard that name before?
They've been on Stacker News for quite a while. Yeah. Maybe on other social media too. I know we're following each other on Nostr, I think. Mary Oscar, he posted about some issues he was having with Graphene OS.
We didn't show that real quick, just so get somebody. I don't know if somebody's already done the bounty, but Oscar has a bounty right now for Graphene OS. He's trying to figure out how to get it connected to a specific interface for a car. So,
yeah. If any of you are out there, if Katie, if you're an Android developer,
are you talking to my sister?
yeah.
See this?
I'm just gonna start addressing your sister as our only audience
random,
member
bro.
from now on.
So
I didn't even know. I was just so.
Well, this is why
surprised.
I don't share like
I know
my
you
private
shouldn't.
stuff.
You really shouldn't, because I'll just dig right in.
Yeah.
Glory or death, car.
Glory. Glory and death.
But yeah, if you apparently they're like when a Graphene OS is plugged into an Android car, it crashes, and there's no way for them to prevent it from crashing. And so they're trying to figure that out. He's paying a bounty.
That's a big bounty.
Yeah, 250,000 sats.
Anybody do it yet? Or?
I think Final got the closest, and so he gave like a few hints that might work.
That's so smart.
Yeah, but apparently it wasn't good enough. So Oscar only paid him out $50K. It looks like, because it didn't actually solve the problem. But yeah, check that out. Let's see what else we got this week. I think we were going to do Cowboys like we usually do. I'm mostly interested to see if CLR is still at the top of this.
Wow.
Yep,
Who's
killing
CLR?
I don't know. They don't post very frequently, and they also don't comment very frequently, but they are killing the cowboy hat game. Look at like
You're not even on there
I'm
anymore.
like I'm top 10. I'm barely in the top 10.
See?
I mean, Darth Coin is out there. He's looking for I don't know if you saw that post where he's looking for a Padawan to take over his account just so
when I saw that.
he could maintain his cowboy hat. But CLR just killing it. Gray Ruby's the only one even close. And Siggy is on their tail.
I feel like
as
Siggy
well.
he should take the top spot. I'm not sure why Siggy hasn't taken the top spot.
The other thing I was going to cover is it looks like
wow.
Kevin was saying we were getting a little bump in spending, which is cool. I don't know. I think this was like our all-time high day for like people actually spending money on the site in a day. And it's
when was that?
It's modest, but it was I think it was like 2 days ago, the 12th. What is today? No, that was like 4 days ago.
Dude, it's been a very busy summer with the news, and we're just 16 days in or whatever. Yeah, it's been a really busy summer. There was so much other big news on the site that we'd even cover.
I know.
Right?
We can like go a little bit of, yeah. So there's Darth.
Leave it for other
RoboSats admin band.
Leave it for other podcasts to cover. We stick to the news. It's what the stackers want.
It's what the top stacker stuff. You're right, Carl. I'm sorry.
Top five.
I'm sorry, Katie.
Voted. Stackers voted. I got a boost from Blockchain Boog. He said, snaps. It's super again. This is from SNL 71. Make news great again. Yeah.
Blockchain Boog.
Keyan, what are you doing this weekend?
What am I doing this weekend? I don't know. I might have to fly to California.
What,
dude?
dude?
My aunt died.
Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. What
was her name?
Her name was Jody.
Oh, man.
She's a really fun lady.
Oof.
And yeah.
How's the family doing?
I don't really know. No one's really, my mom just texts me and she's like, hey, your aunt died. And she's like the youngest in my mom's family. She was only like 50.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah.
That's really young.
Yeah. So I don't know but there's a lot of stuff going on in that side of the family.
Yeah.
But,
well, hopefully you make the flight and,
I might end up going. I don't know.
Myself, Stackers included, we give your family the condolences. It's not good to see people passing.
Yeah, not cool, but it's maybe she had her glory in front of her and this is just.
Or maybe she's headed to her glory.
Oh, that's right. That's the other side. That's right, dude. Maybe that's it. She was cool though. Rip. What are you doing this weekend?
I think we're gonna go do. One of our friends is throwing like a get together tomorrow, so I think a lot of us here are gonna go and do some. What do you call that? When you call a potluck? We're gonna do like a potluck thing.
What are you bringing?
Oh, dude, I wanted to. I'm sure he's listening to this. I wanted to do ceviche because I think I make a pretty good ceviche. But it needs to be prepared like there because it's cold and I don't want it to like just sit out or whatever. So I can't do that because like there's just too many people coming. So I think I'm gonna do like probably like pastor tacos or something.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty fancy.
My pastor tacos are really good.
Keeping it, ethnically consistent. That's nice. Nice to see, Car.
It's what I like. I'm sure other people like it too. All right, Stackers, you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Zap. Bye, Katie.